Don't ruin your life. Infidelity. The subject of sexual infidelity could have been included among the marriage-related videos in this series. However, infidelity can occur with couples who aren't legally or religiously married, but who intend to remain sexually exclusive, so this subject gets its own separate video. I can't give specific advice on cases of infidelity. That is, if either you or your mate strays, I can't suggest exactly what to do because there are too many variables involved and people are too different in how they perceive events. But I can advise listening to the following discussion of infidelity and considering the facts and ideas presented. It might influence some future action you take and could avoid ruining your life and, more importantly, the lives of any children you may have by avoiding a hasty, over-emotional, or inadequately examined decision. If divorce seems necessary, I also suggest that you listen to the following divorce video in this series before taking any legal action. Now to begin. Monogamy versus human nature. Humans have an extremely powerful primal sexual desire that keeps the species going for better or worse. At one time or another, most people find themselves attracted to someone other than their partner. At a minimum, they will mentally acknowledge that these other people are beautiful or handsome. A further step would be imagining sexual relations with the person. I think most men could, with a little effort and a lot of honesty, imagine a situation of irresistible sexual temptation. Most women could too, but many would understandably avoid doing so in order to maintain their self-image. In today's Western societies, past sexual activity of a potential or current mate, male or female, is largely accepted, even by adherents of the major religions. This conflicts with the former ideal of lifelong monogamy, which begins with marriage to your one and only sex partner and ends with the death of one or both partners. Now we have a newer, culturally accepted phenomenon called serial monogamy, which is having one monogamous relationship after another. It seems as though both partners in contemporary Western couples are able to compartmentalize, psychologically block, subconsciously deny, or otherwise set aside the past sexual activity of their partners. Yet most will totally reject the idea of sexual activity outside of their current relationship. If someday you have sexual relations with someone other than your spouse, and your spouse asks you about it, don't lie. Tell the truth and get it over with. If you have any significant conscience at all, lying about it will haunt you forever. And if you do lie about it and the truth comes out later, maybe even years later, the initial reaction of your mate might be more subdued due to the time lapse, but the final effect on your relationship could be worse. I'm sure you've heard a version of these words. I could forgive the cheating. It was the lies I couldn't forgive. If your partner or spouse ever succumbs to the temptation of having sexual relations with someone else and you discover it, you may be inclined, and justifiably so, to end your relationship. This will also end your current home life, disrupt the lives of your children if you have any, and complicate or devastate your personal finances. To be clear, this may be the right decision despite these complications. But before making any decision, you should keep in mind that as time passes, you may think differently. It's possible that what happened isn't worth destroying all you have together. The person you chose as a mate is presumably also your best friend. That person is human. You didn't marry a saint or an angel, and maybe you contributed to the event by not satisfying your spouse's desires, either psychologically or physically. Maybe, after some time passes, you can put aside the event, make necessary changes, and carry on. Maybe it isn't the end of your lives together. I am not advising any particular course of action, either ending the relationship or reconciling and continuing on together, or finding some accommodation that doesn't radically disrupt your children's lives. Every situation is different. I am advising you to think about all the ramifications before taking any irrevocable action, especially if you have children.